Welcome back to my first tank, week 2 updates, and as you can see, we're absolutely stricken with algae again. I don't know what it is. I pretty much feel like just giving up. There's no hope. Everything we do, it just keeps getting worse. I clean it, it gets worse. Things happen, it gets worse. Oh, but hold on a minute. It's only day 45. After the first starting stage and the first 2 weeks is just the diatom stage, so it's just actually starting to get working then, and there's a lot of imbalances the tank still needs to get sorted itself. So let's just jump into a few things. We're going to take a slow look into a couple of things that we can change and do. Again, this is 2 weeks, so it is just that I didn't clean the glass. Like I said, this is going to be a low maintenance tank. This is what everyone's going to go through that doesn't have time. If you work a job, you know that you don't have very much time to sit here and clean your tank every 2 days or every 3 days when a little bit of algae gets on it. So I waited the full 2 weeks and I left it. This is what it's going to look like if you do not do any work to it or any maintenance for 2 weeks. Now, the one to the left to the side of it as well, as you can see every once in a while when I zoom out there. Now it's clean compared to this one here, so we're going to wait till this one here gets sorted. We just need to do a couple things, and we need to help it a little bit to get going. So one of the problems is the algae caught up, and there's nothing in here to clean it. So there's only like 2 or 3 fish, I think maybe 4, and 2 or 3 snails. So the snails really haven't laid any babies yet or got started. So we need to add a little bit more help to it, and we're going to clean things up. We're also going to check on the plants, and we might add a couple more things. I'm thinking about CO2, so we'll go through this here. I'll clean it up. We're going to speed through a little bit of this here, and I'll get back with some of my conclusions. Again, there's a couple things we have to fix. I'm going to scrub some things, add some CO2, change the light cycle. Right now, it's being left on for 18 hours a day because I am trying to grow algae for the auto sinkless I plan to get for this tank. With that being said, let's just speed through this here and get this here cleaned up. This is week 3 update, day 53, and I accidentally almost forgot to record this. I cleaned it and drained it out. The plants are totally overtaken now with algae. They're just barely hanging on a little bit. So this is week 3 cleaning, and I just cleaned it and drained it. I actually just missed it, so I'm filling it back up. I added the CO2. I forgot to get that there part, so I'm just catching it now. So what we're doing right now is I added the CO2 and I'm just filling it back up, and I have a couple more things to go in here. There's a couple more fish, but I actually won't be able to acclimate them till a little bit later, so that part won't be in the video, but we will be adding a few more fish and a few other things. Here's a close-up of what it looks like now. My fish are having a little bit of a fight here. I think I got 2 males in here, but here's an algae wary for a couple of shrimp that I added. We have 3 shrimp in here now. I added an Amazon sword, but you can see the growth at the very starting of the plants there. You can see it coming out from the ground. Even though the plants are almost totally destroyed by the algae, you can see the little sprouts of life that are fighting back, that the algae won't take over because they're going to grow faster than the algae can. So they'll eventually start winning here. And I still have to do a little bit of trimming, but as you can see, I got a couple of mollies in here. I added 4 of them, and I added an Amazon sword and a couple of Ludwigia. I think I'll put the names in the description below if I remember. But this here is actually looking fairly good. I know the algae looks really bad, but I left it in here because I knew I was going to get shrimp. And I still want to get some auto sinkless for this here tank. So I need to leave a little bit of the algae. Now the bottom carpet, there is a little bit of cyanobacteria. And it's not just it's not just algae, so this is going to take a little bit of cleaning up. I still need to change my light cycle to fix it, but here you go. Here's a couple of, they called them fancy shrimp. I don't know what they are. They're just probably bottom grade, whatever. And I have one Amano shrimp in here and 2 fancies, along with 4 mollies. It should be 1 male and 3 females, but I think I actually have 2 males in here, so there might be a little bit of a problem with that later on. We'll have to see how that there goes. Here we are a little zoomed out, and as you can see the Amazon sword, and you can see that I do have dirt and gravel underneath. Like, I'm pretty sure it's fluvial stratum, I think it is. It's fluvial stratum and some river rocks mixed together. It's a mix, and as you can see, I've got a couple of, I think they're antlers, not guppies, and as you can see, the 4 mollies there. We can't really see the shrimp when we're zoomed out like this here, but this is just a good look at how it's going so far. And we have the CO2. We do have a drop checker to go in here. I should add that here just here in a couple of minutes. But everything so far is going good. We're going to clean it up a little bit later. I know it looks like this right now, and a lot of people get discouraged when it does look like this, but we're going to leave it for the purposes of let's see if it fixes itself. And there is a couple of things I know that will look quite a bit better here soon. Once the snails start going, the bottom will look a lot better, and it looks pretty good, but we're just going to power through this here and jump onto the next piece. And there we added the drop checker, and this is what the tank is looking like so far overall. So it's not looking too bad, but it does need a little bit of a cleanup still, but we'll get that straightened out here soon enough. Later that day, some red weg platies were added to the mix as well. Just 2 of them. We don't want to overload it. That's all we're going to be added for the stocking. Okay, what we're doing here, we're over here at the tank now. What we're going to do first before we do anything is we're going to scrape off the backs. We painted on the backing here not that long ago, and we put a mess on the back. It's absolutely just tragic, but it makes it so we can't really see very clear. So what I want to do is either get a white or a black background that's just a solid color instead of this here mess that we have. Plus, we're going to have to do a little bit of trimming. You see all the algae. We're going to clean that up the best we can here. As you can see, like, the tank beside it's, like, perfectly good. Like, if you take a look over to the other side here, like, this tank looks perfectly fine. This one here is just in the knee. It's just at the very end of its cycling, and I just barely only added a few fish in here. Now, since the last time that we've had an update, there is 6. So since the last time we introduced a few things, we have 6 mollies, and we have 2 red wig platies. There's, I think, 3 or 4 guppies in here, 1 male, the rest are females. We have the 3 shrimp, which is 1 Amano shrimp, and there's 2 fancy shrimp in here. We have the CO2. I don't know if I covered that there, but we did end up adding the CO2, and I made sure I added an oxygen checker just to make sure that we're not overdoing the CO2. And that's really it. Other than that, a couple of snails showed up. A couple extra snails showed up, so they ended up having quite a bit. They ended up spreading quite a bit in here because of all the stuff. But what we're going to do is we're going to sweep around a little bit. We're going to stir it up. We're going to scrape the background off first. We're going to stir up some stuff. We're going to drain this. We're going to add the new filter to it. We're going to leave that one in for exactly 1 week while we get the new one ready. And so that's what we're going to do next. We're just going to jump into it. We're going to scrape off the back with a razor scraper. I got all prepared here. We're just going to use this here razor scraper. We're going to scrape the back clean, get as clean as we can. And we'll either paint it black or paint it white, I think, is what we're going to do. We're not going to leave it the color it is because those sparkles are hard to record. So anytime I'm trying to get pictures or anything like that, they blow out my pictures because of the sparkles. So we're going to take some time to fix that. And as you can see right now, it looks like a mess. We're just going to jump into it, guys. And there we go. We actually cut quite a bit of it back. We're going to stop there for the water. That's all we're going to take out. And now we're going to add a couple more things. We're going to add a couple of plants. Because we removed so much stuff, the fish are going to be a little bit nervous. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add a couple of things in. We're going to take a small break and fill this up. We have to wait a couple hours to fill it up because we need to wait till the water warms up. We do have shrimp in here, so we've got to be careful with the temperature. We don't want a big swing in temperature. So I'll be back in about 10-20 minutes. There we go. We're just gonna fill the tank up before we do our planting. It's a little bit foggy right now, but we'll clear that up here soon. This is week 5, I think day 67. I was just about to make some changes, and I wanted to make sure that I captured this for the last update. I picked up the plants, but the plants were placed there where the rocks were, and I placed the rocks in because I'm currently making a few changes to it. But this is what it looks like currently right now, and I think this is the best that it's looked so far. That substrate's super clean. The plants are all very vibrant. The red's coming in. You can see the Lowigia in the back, the super red. And I have a couple of plants floating. They were planted and it did look quite a bit better. Same as the other filter. I did take that out as well. I think I missed that in the last video, but this is what it looks like, and that'll be it. It should be easy going from here. We're going to change a couple of things, but stay tuned for the update. Thanks again for watching, guys. Bye.